Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today my special guest is the lovely Sheevaun Moran from Energetic Solutions. How are you, Sheevaun?
I'm awesome. How are you, Natalie?
I'm excellent on this lovely morning. Now we have a very exciting and interesting topic to talk about today, which is from chaos to clarity. And I know that we're going to be talking about, finding out where we've got different blockages in our life and how to energetically be able to move those. But before we get into our awesome subject, why don't we start with your story and how you've got into what it is that you're doing at the moment.
Oh my God, do we have enough time? Okay, so I'll give you the really condensed version. So I got into building companies when I worked for, you remember those under-desk keyboard drawers? You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first company I worked for when I came to California, and I was the marketing team, and then I was one of 3 in the sales team. So there were 12 of us, and we're building this tiny little company. And I got really addicted to like wearing many hats and doing all the things that really made my creative side, my technical side work well together. And we sold that company at about $144 million. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me find another one of these. So I kind of got into that mode of finding those kind of companies. And challenge is that I found one company, and it was the first woman-owned nutraceutical company in the world. Cool, I thought. And I was very committed. There were only 5 of us when I started, and I overdid myself. I basically overdid myself so much I got sick, and I tore my insides out going to the bathroom one day, and I got blood poisoning. And I didn't believe in drugs, so by not believing in drugs, I decided I had to find another solution. So that other solution was I needed to find a physician that would hear me, that I didn't have to take a drug. And so he did. We tried a lot of things, and nothing would really work because, blood poisoning is pretty dangerous. And I ended up in the emergency room, and I said, okay, fine, you can inject me with whatever you need to inject me with, but I'm going home. And I didn't know what this phrase meant until later, but I was like, I'm going to heal myself. If I can help companies get built, I can certainly heal a body. I lived in this. I know what this thing is. I know what it feels like. I can certainly help or do something to heal it. So I laid on my sofa for 2 months, and I healed myself. Well, of course, I wanted to get more training and figure out, well, how do I keep my body healthy for the rest of my life? I was determined never to be sick again. So I took this energy medicine class, and here I am, the only corporate person in there, and everybody else is all this, woo-woo stuff. And I was like, okay, what does this have to do with me? And I thought, okay, it's fine. And what it turned out was that I was a natural at it, and it made sense based upon my corporate mind and what I was doing in corporate. So I was kind of starting to link the two already. Then I went to Nepal, and I saved a woman's life. And with this little bit of knowledge that I had, and I thought, okay, everybody on the planet, if all they have is this tiny, tiny bit of knowledge, then they'll be empowered. And what I discovered is that once I did that, I started looking for places in the companies I was helping, in the sales team, and people were coming to me for help to solve whatever crisis they were going through or whatever. They're really down at the lowest point that they could be. And I had those tools that I built from corporate and then from the energy place, and I put them together. And so I blend the consciousness and the energetics of what we have concepts of, and I actually give you tools and techniques to get out of the challenge very quickly, so that it affects the first thing that's going to affect is, yes, you're going to feel better, and the second thing it's going to affect is it's going to affect your finances in a positive way. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
Right. So when you're talking about working with people helping them improve, you're talking about stress levels, health, finance, like you're talking about all different areas of life?
So there's something that happens with the body. So I'm going to give an example here. So the body, when it gets burned, so say the body gets burned here, and there is a divot in the energetics of the body that is going in to try to feel and heal that burn, right?
Right.
And that happens in our body, our brain, our life, and our business, and our relationships. It happens everywhere. And then once you learn how to kind of, I call these turning these on, that's why we say your hands have the ability to change your life radically. You know, you kind of turn these on as to what they have the capability to do. It's about solving the crisis, even if it's a tiny mini crisis, so that it doesn't become a bigger crisis somewhere. So stress is lots of little tiny mini crises that have become a big crisis somewhere in the organ set.
Right. Yeah, because I've heard that that stress, when your body's stressed, the same toxic chemicals are released in the body as if you were smoking or drinking alcohol, and they can have the same damaging effects.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, if you deal with that from the outside and the inside simultaneously, that doesn't have to happen. That stress syndrome can actually be an alkaline system, and alkalinity is the thing that heals and solves.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, so when we're talking about doing this, sorry, let me just flick back there. I lost my mouse for a minute. So when we're talking about energetically, like, is this? Do you have to have special abilities to be able to do this, or is this something that everyone can learn?
Listen, I was in corporate, so nobody has to have special abilities. Everybody has it. If you've ever felt or said, two things are true indicators. Have you ever felt or said, anybody listening, have you ever felt or said, you're in my space, I can feel you in my space, get out of my space, you're too close, right? Mm-hmm. So you can feel that. Or you felt like something wasn't quite right in your environment and you just couldn't identify it. Everything looked fine, something is just amiss, and you really couldn't identify it. And every person on the planet has had that. So yes, if you've had that, then every person has the ability. Kids are easier at it, and people who really have something to solve are more receptive to it. But I have taught engineers, I've taught CEOs, I've taught lawyers, I've taught moms who are really, you know, intense and stressed out. I've taught all kinds of people, and everybody has the ability.
Right. Okay. So we're talking about really going inside to look at solving the blockages or the issues that we have in our life, rather than consciously trying to, like, you just work through it or push through it.
Yeah. You know, the mind is amazing, and if you give it the right juice, it will be that much more amazing. So can I show you these images I have for you?
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. Awesome. So what the mind does, and when we go on the inside and we try to pull it out like through, and I'm not knocking any system, I'm just giving you information. So I want everybody to understand that. So you know, therapy, or you know, some of those other things where you hit different points in your body and such like that, they actually bring that out, and that's good. However, they create somewhat of a challenge, and that creates a challenge outside of us, and that challenge looks like that. And it
Right.
becomes chaos around us. And this is what chaos feels like. We just didn't ever know what it looked like, right? We've all felt it. But now to see an image of it, it's like, holy camole, I have felt that, I know what that is. So when you take it from the inside and you don't solve it on the outside simultaneously, you can't get your result that much more quickly. And the objective is, if you work from the outside and you work from the inside simultaneously, you actually get a result that goes like this rather than like this.
Right. Okay. Because obviously this is what's more coherent, and this is really, that's what we really want to achieve when we're looking at the energy that's surrounding our body.
Yeah, you want a more even flow, and so when you get to a more even flow and you get to clarity, and when you deal with the inside and the outside simultaneously, then what you end up with is you end up with clarity. Right. And that's a much happier image than, you know, than the other one. So the clarity is kind of like we're wearing our best clothes or feeling our best ever, and you can actually achieve that more evenly on a regular basis.
Right. Okay, so so is there something practical that if someone's watching the show today that they can do now to help to, you know, create that balance?
Yeah, the first thing I give, and I'm going to actually have to step away for a second to make sure my computer's plugged in, because apparently it lost its charge. Hang on one second.
Okay. So guys, look, remember this show is live. So if any of you have any questions about what we're talking about today, make sure that you put the questions in the chat box below so that we can answer them for you. Okay, Sheevaun, how'd you go?
Great. You know, power's awesome.
Right.
Okay, so in your left hand, and this is for everybody to understand how powerful, we have a concept of knowing that our words are powerful, but until we really get an experience of it, we don't really like know it viscerally. And you know, an visceral experience from what you've done over the years creates a complete shift in everything. So in your left hand, you're going to put, give me an ugly or icky word.
Hate.
Okay, perfect. So you're going to whisper that into your hand, left hand, you're going to say hate.
Hate.
Now tell me what that feels like in your left hand.
It feels hot.
Hot. Okay, any other descriptors?
No, just hot and heavy.
Okay, heavy, great, awesome. So everybody has their own words, so make sure you put comments in to share with us what the words are so I can actually respond to those. And hot and heavy is awesome, right? And that is a really icky word. Now, we know that it's a bad word. We know that it's a challenging word. We know not to use it, etc., etc. But until you feel it, you don't have an understanding of what it has the opportunity to do. So in the right hand, we're going to put, let's just put love, okay? And you're just going to whisper love. So tell me the difference between the left hand and the right hand.
Okay, so this is really light, very light. Light and open is what it feels like.
Yeah. So love feels to me like a pillow and kind of sweet, and it's kind of like dripping around my hand. That's kind of the way it looks to me, at least today anyway. So I don't know why it's different today, but every day can be different. So you have two different words. We know the concept of it, but until you experience it in your hands, you don't know that there is an actual tangible asset to these words and what they feel like. We get it, but until we feel it in our hands, it can't change. So yeah, you're going like, okay, so how do I fix this? So you go like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so one of the things to resolve really quickly, is it going to resolve it forever? No, really quickly is to clap. Actually, clapping is a resolution. And I don't call it healing or clearing or anything like that, because when you resolve a low energy and you bring it to a high energy, and it's a resolution so that they can become the highest and best that they're both meant to be.
Yeah, great, awesome. So can you give me an example of someone that you've worked with and the changes that they've been able to experience because of this kind of work?
Sure, I'll give you a couple that are health, and I'll give you a couple that are monetary, so that you understand. And usually they interrelate, but one that started out as a health problem, and he came to me because his wife says, you need to find another solution because this shoulder thing just is not going away and it's affecting my life. Right. And so they found me, and he came to me for a shoulder problem. We had the problem fixed in about 5 minutes. However, but the real thing that was going on is he was being sued by the Federal Trade Commission here in the United States. Big problem, losing just about everything, and it was causing all kinds of dissonance in his body, and he had no energy, and he was trying to figure out what he was going to do next. Once we solved that, that poopy bill energy, this is what I call the poopy bill. Once we solved that poopy bill energy, he actually sold off the assets that weren't working for him that he was being sued about, and he is now one of the advisors that goes in and helps the FTC in a few ways. Kind of nice turnaround. And he has a very sizable multi-million dollar company. So he went from negative $5 million to many, many millions. And then on somebody who was a mom, and she was trying to figure out what is going on in her marriage, what's going on in her life. She was exhausted, nothing was working for her. And there were all kinds of things that were associated with money and a lot of loss and a lot of grieving. And also, she didn't have, like when your energy is very close you feel very, very vulnerable and you want to close in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Poopyville is just really, really challenging for you. And so what we did is we taught her how to solve that on her and her kids and her husband. And I found out later that she ended up selling 2 properties that had been draining their finances, which wasn't something that we worked on. And it had been draining their finances, and they were back making great income. You know, it was a couple $1 million property that they were just really in trouble about. And then there's a coach who, she came to me earning $1,400 a month, and she wanted to earn, I think she wants to earn $144,000 a month, and we still work with her. And 9 months later, after working with her and teaching her these and having her teach these and take these out to her clients, she makes $40,000 a month. And we taught her how the sales process works, how you get incongruent in selling, how you get incongruent even in your relationships. Like a relationship will either take your money down or it can make your monetary system go up, so long as you solve those Poopyville energies. That's what I call them.
Awesome. Now, I wanted to, before we go today, I wanted to touch on your live event that's coming up in Arizona, which I have the pleasure to join you with as well. So
I know, I can't wait. You know, people have been saying for years that, Mind Movies has changed them. So you're going to get to see more folks that you have helped out there in the world. I'm going to show you a little card here, but we have an event that I do twice a year, and it's called I Am Success Now. And I Am Success Now was designed to give the conscious person, the person who is waking up, conscious in their way of thinking, and they don't really quite know where to put themselves. They don't quite know how to have a conscious conversation around money or bring that into their relationships, or they're just kind of stuck. And when somebody's stuck, it means that, I'm just going to go back to this, means that one of these is actually taking hold and it's grabbing on so tight it won't let go. And so what we do over these 3 days is we actually teach you how to take that away and to solve that so that when you go home, you end up having the experience day in and day out that you're having with, I'm looking for something, that you're having with in the event. So effectively we say, cut the cords, right? Mm-hmm. Stop thinking like that. Well, when you tell the mind to do that, that's nice and that's pretty. But if you actually have a tangible asset that you can do with your hands and you actually can solve that in the moment, you actually can stop thinking like that. Or you actually can cut the cords so you're not so trapped in that way of being, doing, or having. And then that frees you up to be more of who you already are. Yeah. Can I show this in here? No, I really can't. I don't know how to do that.
It's not coming up?
Yeah, well, I have it here. I don't know how to make it go from here to here.
Oh, okay, right. So, so what dates are we looking at?
So we're looking at May 8th. Yeah, May 8th, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona. And May 8th is what we do. What I discovered is I wanted to do events where people would have fun, they would learn, and they would actually get the techniques in the event. You don't have to wait to get home. You don't have to. We do them right there. And so May 8th, we start out in the evening, so it's just a couple hours to get you started. And then the 9th all day, and then the 10th all day, and then a half day on the 11th just to seal the deal and just really get you clear on how you're going to take this out into your money, your relationships, your finances, your health. Because if you're trying to buy your health back, then you're really not in your highest and best integrity and doing what you're here to do.
Right. Awesome. So where can we send people to find out more about you, Sheevaun, and about the event?
Yeah. So you can go to the event at bit.ly, B-I-T-L-Y, / and you're going to do IASN 2014. bit.ly, bit.ly / IASN 2014. And if you want to find out about me, you can go to SheevaunMoran.com. I've been doing this 20 years. I can't imagine doing anything else. I see the shifts in people, and it just is such a supercharging thing for me. I want everybody to have the opportunity to do and have these technologies, because if I can do it, anyone can do it. I want to say something that we put together a package just for you guys, Natalie, your guys. We put all kinds of gifts, and we did like 11 gifts in there and we did the ticket price is $19.97. So we put it at $3.97 for your tribe.
Wow.
And yeah, I wanted to make sure that you all, if you want to be there, you have nothing that holds you back to being there, and that you have as many things as you can possibly have before you walk in the door to make sure that you succeed.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Sheevaun. That is exceptionally generous. And I encourage anyone who, you know, is looking at the current situations in your life, and there's some kind of stress, or there's something that's holding you back, or you've, you know, tried to attempt to be successful in a certain area and you always seem to fall short. You know, the modalities and the things that you will learn at this event will be able to help you to blast through all of that, so that you have that fantastic, beautiful energy around you, and then you can glide through life, that you're in flow, and that you can create anything that it is that you want. So thanks again for joining me, Sheevaun.
What's that?
Thanks again for joining me.
Oh, thanks, Natalie. Love you. Have an awesome day. Love your show.
Now, guys, if you click on the banner on this page, you'll go straight through to Sheevaun's website there to find out all about the live event. Make sure that you share this video. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons, again, on this page. Download the app if you haven't done so already, so you can watch the shows on the go. And make sure that you put your email in the box on this page. I'd love to send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's valued at $87, and I'd love to send it to you for free. So, guys, until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye for now.